I'm here with Lou Bruck, the man himself. Lou, you've been in Alpha Body System for the past 6 months now. You've absolutely crushed it. You've created an incredible transformation for yourself. Help the people understand this. Where were you at before Alpha Body System? What was life like? What was your fitness like before you joined Alpha Body System?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was, kind of started at I wouldn't say young age, but I mean, in high school, I got pretty serious in sports, played baseball, played a little basketball, wasn't very good at basketball, so I stuck to baseball. But, you know, I played ball in college, and it was a fitness because you had to kind of thing, right? I mean, you weren't performing in the gym, you weren't performing, with the cardio, you weren't going to make the team and you weren't going to play, right? So there was a different kind of mentality then. I suffered some injuries, in my collegiate career. It got me out of the game, and at that point, it was like I don't have to do this anymore, and it almost like left a bad taste in my mouth when it came to fitness, and it came to health, right? And um, I was always in and out of the gym because I still had that lingering feeling I got to do this, I got to get this done. But it wasn't ever anything I enjoyed. It wasn't ever anything that I wanted to go do. And fast forward, 10 or so years, I'm 30 years old, I got two kids, I'm out of shape, I'm not real happy with where I'm at. Um, you know, Life stuff is good, professional life is good, family life is good, but it's like I wasn't filling the fitness bucket, and wasn't getting what I wanted out of myself and out of my health. So, it wasn't until I found ABS that I kind of felt this shift in mentality with it. Before ABS, it was like I'd go to the gym. I'd grind it out. I'd still get good stints. I'd go, a few months in, but I wouldn't see the results. And it was like a defeating thing where you do that over and over and over again. It's not necessarily like a confidence, like general confidence thing, but it's certainly a confidence thing in the gym and with what you're doing with your health. So I don't know. I mean, before ABS, that's kind of where I was at. Fitness was something I always had to do growing up, and I didn't really want to do it now when I'm 30. And I'm glad I do. I'm glad it changed.
Got it. Yeah. So it sounds like, as a competitive athlete, you were used to having a lot of structure and accountability and a clear game plan as to what to follow. But when you left that environment, you didn't you lost those things, and that kind of was an element of what caused you to move in the wrong direction for a period of time.
Yeah, and it was like what's different about that type of accountability and what you guys have built with ABS is that accountability was kind of one-sided, right? Like you had a coach or a trainer screaming at you. It was like it wasn't a mutual accountability where like literally I did it because I had a college coach that was like I had a scholarship to fight for. I had to, it was like that kind of accountability where now it's like you guys have built this thing where like I've got more skin in the game just for myself and personal health, and there's an understanding of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And it's a whole nother level of accountability. It's an understanding. It's not just you walk into the gym and there's a list on the whiteboard of all the stuff you hate that you have to go do. Now it's like I kind of have some say in what results I want, and what kind of food I want to eat, what kind of lifts I want to do in the gym, what hurts my back, what doesn't hurt my back, what it's there's a partnership here between myself, you, and Greg.
Hmm.
There wasn't that, with college sports. It was, you're here to do a job.
Right. Right. Okay. Got it. So, you've been in the program now for you just wrapped up month 6, right? Tell
Yeah.
the people like what actual results have you created for yourself so far in this time?
Yeah. So I think so since I really got serious about this, I mean, I was pushing 250 pounds. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'3". But I was 250 pounds and not good body composition. And that was at the height, like when I got married, 4 or 5 years ago, and I was kind of like teetering between 240, 250, just in those stints that I'd like, all right, I got to do this, I got to go to the gym, and then I'd get a little bit better and then would kind of bounce back. I wasn't really retaining anything. And I think I was floating more closer to like 245 when I started ABS. And I'm down to 220. I'm floating between 215 to 220 now. Kind of depending on what you know, what voodoo magic that Greg's working with my nutrition stuff and in the gym, you know, there's times where I'm bulking, there's times that I'm trying to cut. So right now I'm at 220, but the biggest thing is that I think when we first interviewed for this, I told you like I don't necessarily want to have like I don't want to be able to, it would be nice, but I don't have to be able to lift heavyweight. I just want to look like I can, kind of thing. Kind of like
Yeah.
that was not touting on this, but I'll tell you, like I've fallen more in love with the gym and you know the progress I'm seeing on the and you know in the compound that we use for tracking our weight. Um, you know, in the gym than I am what I'm seeing in the mirror. And it's like that's I guess the mentality shift that I referred to before. It's like I'm so process oriented now with this. Whereas before it was like more of an instant gratification type of feeling. So mentally, I would say like the physical benefits have been huge. Like I feel I look more muscular. Um, I'm stronger in the gym. You know, PRs on the bench. Like I think I started benching at like 135 or 145, and now I'm up to 250 plus.
Massive.
You know, so it's there's the results that are great, but like my favorite thing about it is just the mentality shift. This like paradigm shift internally that it's a process. It's like this infinite game where you're just trying to improve, you know, just granular, you know, marginal improvement every day. And that's the biggest thing that's changed, not just in the fitness side of things and the health side of things, but just in my life. So it's pretty cool. It's been awesome.
That's incredible, man. So like down 30 pounds with way more muscle now,
Mhm.
way more strength. You've had a complete 180 with your mentality around like how you're approaching your workouts. What have been the effects in your other areas of life, whether it's, confidence at work or productivity at work, time with the family? Like how have the physical changes impacted your other areas of life?
Yeah. So I've got two kids. I've got a 4-year-old daughter. I've got my son will turn 2 in December. I've got one on the way. And that was honestly, I think the first step of this for me. It wasn't like again, it wasn't just about me. You know, I started seeing like my daughter grow up to a position where she's soaking everything in, man. And like I see her like digging in the pantry eating a bunch of shit and like it kind of it was like it struck me just as a father, like I got to be setting a better example for my family and for my kids. And I think that was one of the things in our like intro meeting 6 months or so ago when I was like kind of on the fence on whether I wanted to start up with this. You even like pushed me a little bit in that process and said like, you know, fast forward 20 years, 30 years down the line, like what are your kids going to be doing based on what they're seeing in your life and what you're doing right now? And like that was like the moment I was like, I gotta do this, you know? So like I see it, you know, I mean, every 4-year-old like doesn't want to eat broccoli and like eat healthy, but like she's at least over the fence where she's trying new foods and she's, you know, I'll walk home from work and she's got this like kids, you know, the TV behind me. She's got like this kids like yoga, you know, yoga video on, like thinking she's exercising, which, you know, she, in her mind, she is. And that's like the kind of thing that I want to where she's old enough. That's like a bonding thing that we can go into the gym together and cook healthier foods and just like set that foundational, you know, those foundational principles for her to not have the same situation when she's 30 where she's got to make a drastic change in her life. So I'd definitely say on the family front, it's been big. You know, I've always like had a, you know, fortunate professional career. You know, and you know, as fate would have it, there's been, you know, hard work, but there's been some luck and some things. But I definitely see a difference when it comes to just the I'm in sales, right? I'm you know, manage pretty high revenue for a company that I work for, and in that kind of environment, you're kind of you have that have the similar mentality that I think I've developed in ABS, where you know you make changes to people or you make changes to sales strategies or different things. Like it's not an instant result. There's a lot of building up and a lot of things that have to occur for you to get to the result that you want. And again, that process, you know, process mindset, that infinite kind of game mentality, I think has really kind of reared its head in my professional life too because of what I'm doing with ABS.
Mm, incredible, incredible. Well, man, you have done such a good job of, showing up on a consistent basis. Like, we obviously put the game plan in place for you with really in collaboration with you, understanding what was important, but none of this works unless you're showing up and putting the work in.
Yeah,
So you need to give yourself a lot of credit here. You've absolutely crushed it. Um, a lot of fun to work with too. I guess finally, like, what advice would you have for anyone who's on the fence considering, if Alpha Body Systems gonna get them the results they want, or if Alpha
yeah,
Body Systems gonna be the right community for them?
yeah. You know, there's something else you said to me at the beginning of this, and maybe you're just a really good sales guy, but if you are, we got some openings. Company I'm working for. But you said something to me, just about like investment in yourself, investment and like kind of doing an audit on like what you're actually investing your time, your money, and everything into. And I took a step back and think about because it's not just not ABS, but just anything revolving around your health, whether you're a gym membership or the healthy food. You go to the grocery store to buy healthy food, it's more expensive. The supplements, the mentorship, whatever it is, like there's a cost associated to it. But then you start thinking about the cost associated to, you know, heart issues when you're older, or just the chronic diseases that come from being unhealthy. And like just that alone is a no-brainer. I'd rather make an investment now in this and save myself a lot of time going to the doctor and money and different things just from a sheer financial standpoint. So if you're somebody that's on the fence with this and on the fence with investing in your health, you got to do it just from that. But you know, looking back at like how far I've come, and I see 50, 60, 70 guys alongside of me, that there's dudes that have better results, or dudes that are on a better trajectory than I am, and it's encouraging. You have a community of men that are just wanting to be better, and that is like that's one of my favorite things about ABS is like you've got this group of guys. We're from all over the world. We've got people from all over the place, but there's this mutual sacrifice and this mutual end goal, and like you're all pushing each other to it. And it's like this weird thing where like, there's a guy, Ron, that's like East Coast guy, and him and I like are chatting in the background and like pushing each other, talking a little shit. But it's like you don't want to let those guys down, and you don't even know them. You know what I mean? It's like you're all kind of putting skin in the game. It's a really cool community that you guys have built. Um, but like the bottom line is I would say investing in yourself, whether it be, from a health standpoint, investing in yourself with professional financial training. I mean, that you can't measure a return on investment with that. It's that important. So if you're on the fence, ABS is one of the best in the game. And you gotta take the plunge and take the leap and invest in yourself.
Let's go. Well, Lou, congrats again, man. You've absolutely crushed it. Like the before and after from where you started to where you're at now, absolutely incredible. And also, that progress is going to continue to happen, right? Like you're not done. You're still making progress, and it's it's exciting to think about the progress that you've made so far and then translate that into the future, across the next 6 months. And yeah, man, congrats again. Thanks again for taking the time. And let's keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, no, and I know I'm showing up and putting in the work, but I'm really grateful for you, for Greg, for the community, because you've changed my life. And it's whether I'm with ABS for another 10 years or another 6 months, like I've learned a lot through this process, and I'm a better man for it. So I really, really am grateful for you guys.
Hey man, well, we're grateful for you. You're a valuable part of the community, and at the end of the day, you got to be the one to show up for the work in, and you have, and that's why you've crushed it. So give yourself a pat on the back here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, Lou, thank you for taking the time. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, buddy.
All right, take care.
Thanks, man.